this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. I want to make a quick public service announcement. I want to ask you to please stop letting your children go. Please stop just letting your kids just go in the streets and be gone. And you don't know where they at, and then you in the street and you gone. You need to know where your kids at. You need to be at home knowing where your kids at and what they doing. Because I'm going to tell you something, they're not, African American children are not on the priority list to be looked for. You know, if your child run away and they're African American, if your child, you can't find your child and they're African American, your child is a runaway. If your child is Caucasian and they missing, they've been abducted. So there's a difference. Your child are not going to be on any TV show besides the first 48. That's it. If you look at Dateline 2020, all those other TV shows, they about missing white women. They are not looking for African American children. We have African American children who are missing right now, who cannot be found. And I'm going to start dedicating shows to these children who have not been found. There's no platform. There's nobody looking for these children because they're so-called runaways. So-called runaways. You know, but I'm gonna tell you something. It's some horrible things going on. This is not the world that we grew up in, Mom and Dad. This is not the same world. You know, you can't just let them go. That stuff happen. You know, you have kids who's out to get them. You have people out to get them. You know, you it's just so much going on. You got to know where they are. If they want to go somewhere, take them. You know, spend some time with your child. They can use some time to spend with your child. Or, you know, you just be there with them. Know where they at, you know. Drop them off, go back and get them. Don't just let them go, please. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's once they come up missing, it's a great big old world out there. You can't just let your little baby walk down the street no more. You just can't do that. You know, you have to know what's going on and where they are. They are not looking for these African American children. I know the two twins that came up missing, and ain't nobody ever found them. Nobody ever knew nothing. It's just they gone. It's a whole lot of African American children who are missing. So we need to stop just letting our children go. You know, and my prayers and thoughts are to these families who have these children who are missing and don't know where they are. You know, it is so difficult. It's so hard. You know, that's something that's very, very hard to deal with. You know, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. So, you know, we need to stop, people. You know, that's what growing is all about. You know, you have to think and start bettering yourself, doing better. You know, stop ripping and running the street. Being at home with your child, knowing what your child doing. You know, being an active part in your child's life. Having conversations with your child. Allowing your child to express him or herself. You know, we weren't really allowed to express ourselves like that. You know, but let your child tell you, you know, what I want, what I think, what I feel. You know. And when they little, yeah, you have to think for them. But now she done grown up a little bit. Let her think for herself a little bit. You know, let her try on, you know, what she want to wear or her own clothes or whatever. Your mom, you still be there and watch her, you know. Make sure she don't buy no whopping clothes because you know what I said about that. You know, we want some educated kings and queens here. You know, we trying to raise our children up to be something. Stop speaking bad things over your child. Stop telling your child he ain't gonna amount to nothing, or he ain't no good, or he ugly, or he this, or he that. Don't talk to your child like that. Don't curse your children. Don't call them MFs and Bs. You know, don't let your child see you speak that language, because what you profess over your life, that's what's gonna be in your life. You know, don't do that. You know, you and your child are supposed to have a line of respect. Remember that line of respect you had with your mom? You and your child supposed to have that same line of respect. You know, y'all can, laugh and joke and play, and you can allow them to express themselves. But, you know, I allow my daughter to express herself. You know, she's 16. She just turned 16. I allow her to express herself and talk to me. You know, because if she's afraid of me and scared of me, she ain't going to come talk to me about nothing. You know, so I allow her to talk to me. You know, you instill that respect for your, you know, in your children, but don't make them afraid to come and tell you something. It may be something that you really need to know. You know, don't let them be afraid to come talk to you. You know, nowadays, no, you can't whoop them like we got whooped. You can't do that. You know, we have to think of different ways of dealing with them and talking to them. You know, and we can reach them. They can be reached. They can be reached because they need to express themselves. They need to be able to you know, express who they are. Hold on, this got up a little bit too loud, just a little bit. But yeah, they need to express themselves. So, encourage your child, to just like the other day, encourage your child to explore their greatness. The other day, I took my grandbaby, kept asking to go to the fields, the fields. I'm like, what's the fields? He just want to go to the field so I took him to the great big park that we have, but it's mostly fields and little mountains, and I took him out there and he just went out there and with his little sword and everything. And he just had him a good time by himself for about an hour, just by himself. So, just allow your child to express, and especially now, there's no school, so parents, we have to be a little bit innovative. And so also when it comes to Halloween, I was thinking about something like aspire to be, what you aspire to be. And then that day, you can take your child, that day, or if not Halloween before, take your child to where they aspire to be. Take them to find out as much information as you can about that. That's what I'm gonna do with my grandbaby. We gonna have the aspire to be day. We're not doing Halloween. We're doing away with that. I don't want nothing to do with anything evil. So we're gonna have aspire to be day. Take your child out and maybe post some pictures somewhere and or send me some pictures. Send them to the email. Or what you're doing. So and just keep growing. We these children want to grow. They want to grow up and be. And we just got to encourage them. We got to keep encouraging them as we watch over them, because we got to be more protected. We got to rein them in now, Mom and Dad. We got to rein them in. We got to rein our babies in. We got to watch over them. It's too much happening. It's too much going on in the world. It's just too much. So, I want us to continue to grow, continue to build wealth in your community. Start building wealth. Stop buying rims. Start building wealth. Buy up some property. Buy up some investment around in your neighborhood. Start making it look better. The government is not going to come in and do nothing. City Hall is not going to come in and do nothing. They don't have the money to do it. So it's up to us to start building back in our community. It's up to us, because they got bureaucracy, they got red tape, they got all kind of stuff they got to go through. So, we need to start building up around us. If you want anything to change in your life, you need to start changing it. You need to start doing it. It's up to you. When you look at yourself in the mirror, give yourself a pep talk. I can do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this. Speak over yourself. Manifest yourself. Stuff will begin to manifest in your life. Listen to that song. Encourage yourself. Speak over yourself. Speak a word over yourself. Remove that chaos in your life. Anybody that's bringing chaos in your life, remove them. You got to start removing them. Speak to the ancestors. Well, please remove this person. Their heart ain't right. They ain't doing right. They don't mean me no good. And I don't want them around me no more. Keep them away. And they will. They'll keep them. The ancestors will manifest things in your life. So if you don't want that person around you, you don't want no more chaos in your life. You done dealing with chaos. You trying to change. You trying to live in glory and live in honor to God. And you want the glory. You want the peace. You want the happiness. You want the joy. You ready for positivity to manifest in your life. Then you need to remove the chaos. You need to forgive. You need to let go. You need to let go of all that past hurt, all the grudge, anything you got. I'm gonna tell you something. I held grudges. Yeah, I held grudges. I held grudges on white people. I was mad at white people for a long time. I took it out. I was not like racist, but still, think, because these people here don't have nothing to do with what happened in the past. I'm mad at the people in the past. And the things that happen when I see injustice happen, I get angry. But I learned to channel my anger into positivity. Channel my anger into action. Channel my anger into good trouble. Channel my anger to make things manifest. Make positive things manifest. So that's where grow was born. That's how grow came about. Because I want to begin to channel my anger into positive action. I want to begin to let you see how my anger can cause you to grow, can help you to grow, help the next person to grow, and help the whole community grow, help us grow as an African-American race, because we've been the have-nots for a very long time. Now it's time for us to be the haves. It's 400 years later. It's time for us to be the haves. So it's time for us to get on board, and start growing. You just do it right where you at. You ain't got to, contact Nobody. Just start growing where you at. Start changing your way of thinking. It'd be nice if you send me an email or something. Let me know how you're growing. Because I love to know. And keep on encouraging you. Keep on giving you the word. Because I'm gonna keep on making the videos as long as the Lord allows me. So I keep on encouraging you as much as I can, because I want us all to grow. I want us all to be kings and queens in God's army as he has anointed us to be. Because he chased after the ones he loved, and he chased me for a long time. I'm gonna tell you something, because I was hard-headed. So, and I know I'm not alone. So come on, let's grow. Have a wonderful day. I love you. Let's grow.